Hey, this is Scarf Bonsai. In this video, I'm going to go over accessory equipment, gear hacks, anything that can help me be more efficient in the field, makes things more protected, easier to use. A bunch of little things here and there. I'm sure you've used some of these things, maybe not all of them, so it might spur your imagination a little bit. First one are these gear snakes, also called rubber ties. In a previous video you might have noticed I'll put a little clip. My friend was using something very similar to this. They were more high-end, higher quality than these ones, but looked really interesting, so I found this locally. Pretty cheap, maybe $3 or $4. It's simply just wire with rubber around it, so you can adjust them, you can cut this to length. Basically, easy way to make sure your light stands, your tripods don't fall off your backpack or whatever you're using. Next one are cable ties. These are more of a permanent solution. The good thing about these is you can make loops, semi-permanent loops on your bags, allow you to attach things, and like I said, it's semi-permanent, it's waterproof, it's not going to fall off. You can even use a little bit of tape if you want to make sure, but those are good, they're cheap, and they're easy. These ones are fake carabiners. They don't hold a lot of weight, but they're good for attaching any type of light modifier like a large reflector to your backpack. I've definitely done that in the past. Works pretty well. On this large strap here I have two carabiners on both sides. This allows me to make sure this quick release does not come undone when I'm wearing it. This is a cheap double camera strap. I don't trust it too much. And I really don't trust these quick release plastic things in general. So it's nice to put a little extra protection like that so the strap itself has 2 points of failure instead of 1. Another easy way to be more efficient with camera straps is to buy straps that are quick and easy to remove and add back to the camera, especially with the higher end cameras that have those small circular lugs on the sides. You have to add that triangular piece, and those are really hard to deal with, so I tend to avoid those when I can. That way, simple straps like this, they have a circular, basically a key ring on the end instead of that triangular lug. This is easier to deal with, and it just works pretty well. So I can take it off, and this whole back end of the strap, I don't do anything with it, just stays as is, and then simply reattach those circular key rings to the camera. When you're dealing with memory cards, usually you have some type of little memory card wallet. In this case, this came with an old Kata backpack that I have, and it has Velcro on the back. That's really nice. Most bags, of course, have the inside where the Velcro works, so you won't lose this in many cases. Just stick it in there, it just stays in there, and you can open it up as you need, or take it off when you really have to, but it'll be inside the bag and it won't fall out. UV filters are kind of, you definitely use them or you definitely don't use them, but I'm more on the side of using UV filters. They're quick and easy, they work well to protect your gear in some ways. Not all, of course, but definitely I've dropped a few things or scratched a few things, and the filter was what took the damage. So you've got the protection side, but you also have the simplicity side. In this case, I don't use lens caps. I just simply have the UV filter on the camera. It stays like that. It's much easier to clean. I don't have to worry about scratching it nearly as much, of course, as the lens itself. And it just works really well for me personally. So I like using those filters. Cleaning wise, I tend to not use any type of liquid. I simply use microfiber cloths. A lot of them I've gotten from different places. This was from Camera Shop. These other ones were from either lenses, like these type of lenses, or any little piece of equipment that I buy. It comes with a little microfiber cloth, this tiny one here. They work pretty well. It depends on the cloth. I do wash them in the washer. Don't use any type of fabric softener, but I haven't had any real issues with that. Of course, you'll get a little bit more lint when you do that, but they still work pretty well anyways. And I just simply wipe down UV filter, and that's it. I don't touch lenses rarely, very, very rarely will I touch any type of lens to clean it because it just stays pretty good in most situations. Might blow some air on them, but otherwise I'll use just a simple microfiber cloth without anything. For most of the time I do use liquids when I have to. Besides the claws, there are these Giotto's bags. They're microfiber material. They work really well. I have quite a few of them. Use them over the years. They have a draw strap. Works very nicely in many situations, and they protect the equipment pretty well. So those are nice to get if you can find them. This little bag right here actually is from a pack of pillowcases. So big box store, you want to buy some pillowcases. The bag that it comes in can be pretty useful. In this case, you can put a few extra things inside. And this top here has some elastic. Works pretty well. There are various types. I also use simple Ziploc bags. Some situations it's good for weather resistance. You zip it up and there's a less likely chance to get water in whatever you're trying to protect. They're also decent for protecting any type of lens element by itself. So if I put this little action camera in a Ziploc bag, no issues there. Usually I use a clean one or a new one basically, but this has been used quite a bit. The Ziploc bags are good also with business cards. I do usually store my business cards in a Ziploc bag inside a backpack or any type of camera bag, just in case it gets wet. You can protect these things. This one here you've probably all used at one point or another. Great for tripods. A simple coin, any type of coin for the most part, as long as it's thin enough to work in your tripod of choice, especially with those quick releases. A lot of them work really well with a simple coin. With straps like these that have the tripod socket connection, they do work well, but then you still have that one point of failure. If this comes loose, there is some type of risk where your camera can fall. So in these cases, I often use something. In this case, these neck straps from conventions. They just work simply like that. And then they have a connection here. They're not too strong, but they do help. So I'll just wrap this around the strap. And then you can easily attach this to the camera end of things. And it works pretty well, just as an added protection. I saved the best thing for last. This is what I use a lot lately. It's duct tape. It is not your usual duct tape. It is no residue from 3M. About $9 for the roll. So it's not cheap, but it works really well. And it's pretty easy to find at home stores. It's probably very similar to gaffer's tape. I haven't used that because that's even more expensive, but this does what I need for it to do. I put it on my cameras, battery doors to make sure they don't open. I cover labels. In this case, I cover this little diopter adjustment on X100F just so dust doesn't get in there. And I do remove the tape occasionally because it probably is good to refresh it. You don't want the adhesive to stay on too long. Even though it is no residue, it's not perfect, but it does work very well. Those were some of my accessory related equipment gear hacks. Hope you found this video interesting. I'm curious to know of any that you have devised in the past, how they worked for you, and maybe I'll try those out as well. But these are basic ones that I've used in the past or would like to use, such as these gear snake things. I'm looking forward to trying these out, see how they work in practice. Simple stuff, especially key rings, tape, the coin. It all works really well though. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. That helps me out a lot. Likes and shares help out a lot as well. Thanks again.